Seriously, if there was one thing on this earth that could be considered a silver lining in the storm cloud of this situation, it was getting to see firsthand the incredible hotness of the man who had repossessed my car. Now he was all I could think about, and it was starting to get on my last nerve. The first time my car was repossessed, I hadn't been expecting to find an attractive man. I expected some nasty old fat dude with a balding head and a half-finished cigar hanging out of his mouth. What I found instead was a tall man wearing coveralls, half on and tied around his waist with the sleeves. His broad back was covered with a tight, red t-shirt that had grass on the back. His collar-length, thick brown hair was a little sweaty at the ends, causing them to twist into the most adorable curls I'd ever seen on a man. He turned around at the sound of my feet tapping lightly on the pavement as I made my way to him, and I'd gotten lost. He'd been muscular from the back, but from the front, with the way his tight t-shirt hugged his toned body, I could tell that he was no slacker in the work department. His forearms had been what drew my attention first. In my old life, I'd been a phlebotomist. The bigger and juicier the veins, the more appealing a man became. This man, though, he had not just one good vein, but dozens of them. By the time I'd been able to peel my eyes away from those muscular forearms, I stalled again on his tattooed to the elbows biceps. He had rings of sweat under his armpits that made the red t-shirt he was wearing appear even darker. Before I could even get to his face, though, he turned around to continue what he was doing, allowing me a moment to gather my wits. Once I got myself together, I proceeded to beg him not to take my car because not only did it have all my clothes in it that I had planned to take to the laundromat that evening, but it also had my next week's worth of groceries, sans the cold stuff that Francine had allowed me to store in the industrial fridge at the taco shop. He ignored me. When I touched him to get his attention, he practically kicked my hand off of him, and I'd fallen back on my butt as tears stung my eyes. I tried to fight off those tears, but I still wound up crying like a baby, which of course just made him feel sorry for me.